Ty Bartow in with another edition of Coach's Corner. We head back down to Potter Country once again, this time on the boys' side of the Hoops edition with head coach Nate Conley. Talking with me today. Coach, how are we doing today?
Not bad. I should just join Coach Reed. I walked in during the interview in his office about
He
5
was
minutes
talking
ago.
about that a little bit too. I told him I was staying in Potter Country tonight too, and that's going to be great, and that's just fine with me because I'm excited to talk about this team you guys got cooking up this year. First and foremost, though, I always like to start with practices. We got practices going. Some scrimmages are going for some teams. What are you liking what you're seeing early on in this preseason?
I like where we're at right now. I don't get too high or too low in the first week or first 2 weeks of basketball. There's some stuff we want to see, some stuff that we don't want to see. We had a scrimmage last week, and we scrimmage again this week. We're going about we have a scrimmage per week leading up to our first game at Geneva College versus Beaver Falls. Like I said, I don't get too high. We're playing well. We have a lot of guys returning. We lost one senior from last year, so the stuff that we're doing, the kids know. So we're far ahead of the game when it comes to preparation. We're just trying to get our legs under us and get some rhythm to our basketball game.
I want to just give you a chance to just like talk about this program a little bit before we get into detail of this team. It's such a highly touted program. It's a very good program year in and year out. You guys are always successful. You always draw big numbers too. What's kind of one of your secrets too to kind of maintaining program success and program numbers throughout the years?
Well, I think it helps with longevity. I mean, my coach, Nick Alloy, was here for 20 plus years. This is my 14th year. We have a great youth program established. We have close to 80 kids. We're actually running an in-house league with just Liverpool guys this year. It starts this Saturday. So, basketball is big down here. The numbers are great. It's just a culture that, I'm just help run. It's already been established before I even took over. I was part of it. Coach Reed was part of it. It's what we do down here in East Liverpool.
When you talk about this team too, and some takeaways from last season, you talk about losing one senior, but now you got a bunch of guys that have a whole year under their belt coming into this year, and maybe some fresh faces as well. Before we meet the team, what are just some of the takeaways you had from last season that you bring into this season with the guys that are returning?
We had a little weird year last year. We won some games. I think we won 17, 18 games, went to the district final, but we never had a full unit. One of our better defensive players, Marquise Glenn, missed half the season. Preston Kerr missed a bunch of games. I think we had one player on the varsity team that went the whole season without missing. That was our point guard, Jake Smith. So it was just tough. It was tough balancing the rotations and the lineups. We had 9 different guys start multiple games, which is great. It's great for this year. We struggled a bit with it last year, but we got all these guys coming back and their varsity experience. They're ready. They got stronger. And like you said, it's going to be a fun season.
Well, I don't want to hold any more time before we get a chance to meet this team. So why don't we shout out some of the names we can expect for Potter Nation to see on that floor this year, and maybe some new ones as well.
Yeah, I think we had 10, 11 guys that are fighting for the rotation spots. We have 5 seniors. Like I said, Jake Smith was our point guard last year. We have Preston Dawson, who's a forward. Preston Kerr, who's a tremendous basketball player. He's probably one of the top players in our area. Marquise Glenn, the kid who missed half the season last year, was on pace to shatter steals records. He ended up averaging almost 3.5 steals a game, which is unreal for high school basketball. And we have Coach Reed's son, Malachi Reed, who's a 6'5" big man, little stretch guy, could step out and hit some shots. Great defender, high basketball IQ. You could obviously tell, he comes from a coach and Josh Reed, how good he was. And then we have five juniors who could really play basketball. Cohen Pease had 64 made threes last year, 2 off our school record. Nate Birch, who is equally as good a shooter as he played more JV last year. At the end of the year, he started playing varsity, but he's clutch, man. He hits so many big time threes, and he's just a natural scorer. We have Quentin Conrad, who's going to be point guard for us this year. Lightning quick, played varsity last year. You probably know Deshaun Kirby from the football field, big 6'5" guy who is really good at basketball. He got great hands. He sees the court. He could finish. He's big. And then we have the newcomer would be Blake Atkins and Gavin Wright. But Blake Atkins is just an animal. He just gets after. He's undersized, but you couldn't tell because how hard and the motor this kid got. He just goes and goes and goes. So we have a nice mix of seniors and juniors. And last year we struggled a little bit to mesh because they played together, seventh grade and eighth grade. So when you throw both those teams together, it took us a while to mesh, but they're really starting to click and come together now. So it's nice.
My man Anthony Hartwick wanted to join because he loves talking Potter basketball too, and he knew you were on. He had some free time, so he wanted to get in. We just met the team, man, and it's going to be a fun one this year. What did you have loaded for Coach Conley?
Well, you got to ask about the schedule. I mean, after we're meeting the roster, and I'm sitting there listening to all these great players that the Potters are going to feature this year. Let's dive into the East Liverpool schedule. We'll start with the conference and what you expect out of that, and how you expect it to shake out this year.
Did you see the schedule? It's fun. It's real fun.
It's pretty loaded.
That's why it was got to ask about it.
Which is nice because it shows where we're at right now. There's been many years in my 14 years here where you could fill a schedule in 1 or 2 days, and there's years like this where it takes months to fill. And we had to find games wherever we could find them. And I respect guys that will basically play anyone, and that's how we are. And we picked up who we feel are the best teams around. We got the Moonies, the Ursulines, the Boardmans, Alliance, who's loaded. Alliance is really good. We're opening up with Beaver Falls. We're going to Geneva. We're opening up. Then we got, the Wheeling Parks, the Wheeling Centrals, the Big Reds. And then we got our county rivals, which aren't easy, Beaver Local and Salem. The schedule's tough. You could say tough all you want. I think it's fun. We don't put a lot of stock into our regular season record. We've been to the district final, 4 or 5 times in my tenure here, and that's our goal. And these games are going to make us tougher and get us ready for it.
Coach, I was talking with Coach Reed about this a little bit earlier, so I have to ask your perspective on it as well. Beaver Local and East Liverpool is just a different type of rivalry. We know rivalries, and then we know those type of rivalries, and then East Liverpool and Beaver Local is like one of those. Never crosses the boundary line, but it presses up against it as much as it can, right, Coach? Describe it for those outsiders that may not know what it's like. This kind of rivalry between two schools that are no more than a stone's throw away from each other.
Yeah, it's a different rivalry because I do like the guys out there. I like their coach. I like some of their players, but we have fun with it. There's no red in my house. I have 3 daughters. They refuse to wear red, and that's just the way they were raised. So 0 red ever in our house. But it's fun. I mean, we share a town, so I like it when they're good, and they're going to be good this year, and it makes the game even better. It's a challenge, and we challenge them; they challenge us. So it's a fun game. But we have other rivals too. We go at it with Steubenville Big Red in basketball. We don't get them very often, but we go at it with Big Red. That's a big basketball rival for us.
Another reason not to have red in the houseware, right?
We don't do a whole lot of red. But it's all out of fun. It's mutual respect. I have nothing against anyone at Beaver Local.
Tell the concession stand to not sell the red Gatorade that night.
Yeah.
No red flavor. Coach, when I'm looking at your schedule, one of the things that I see, not just really good teams, but a lot of different styles of basketball you're going to see. You got some physical teams, some teams that like to run, some teams that are really good at shooting. What is seeing all these different styles of basketball also do for you throughout the season?
Our ultimate goal is to get us ready for the district finals. And we've had games in the 40s. We've had games in the 60s. So our goal is to be able to win games any way possible. We have size. We can pound the ball. We have, multiple 3-point shooters. We have ultimately 2 of the best shooters, around, maybe one that's, statewide. He's just a knockdown shooter that's gotten stronger. Then we got speed. We're going to get better on the defensive ends. We're going to get up. We're going to we're going to go 94 feet with you, but we also have to be good in the half court set because once you get past, the sectional level, those teams can handle the ball. They get good point guards. So you got to be able to lock down the half court set as well.
What did having all those guys that got starting time do for you now that they had that experience? Does the playbook get bigger, or maybe does the sets that you guys just run, are they more just like refined and more just perfected on those things?
Ty, we don't run a whole lot of stuff. and I'm big on teaching guys how to play rather than teaching them plays. I think that's what happens when you come down and you need a bucket. You got to teach these kids how to go get a bucket. Now we'll run stuff. We have our sets. We'll run stuff on dead balls, but we get out and run, man. We're a fun style of basketball. We have our system, and we play it. It's why it's tough to scout us. It's tough to guard us because sometimes I don't even know what we're doing. But we practice it every day. These kids have been in the program playing that style since third, fourth grade, so they're used to it, and that's the only way we know how to do it down here.
So I just want to follow up then. So if it's not like a whole lot of sets, then what do you see with a year of experience under kind of that style of basketball at the varsity level? What kind of things changes? Are there more advantages coming into this year now with guys having that year?
Yeah, it's more of a read and react, and I'm not teaching it a lot now. Now we're just playing with it, and you see some more backdoor plays, a lot more movement instead of guys being stationary and flat-footed. I'm big on ball movement. I'm big on the next pass. I'm big on attacking the hoop. So I don't really have to do a whole lot of that, man. Practices are fun. I told the guys today after practice, I would have paid admission to watch that practice today because they got after it. It's nice. I could put 5 and 5 and it just go full speed. A lot of coaches say they practice hard, and there's days that, we don't bring it at practice, but I tell you what, we practice pretty hard.
That's awesome, Coach.
Coach, one of the things that we do with all of our coaches is we give them the time to highlight their coaching staff and the people that are behind them doing a good job. We know that you get all the interviews and you get all the limelight, but you got a lot of good people helping you build this Potter program. So I want to give you the time to shine a light on them a little bit and tell us about your staff.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not afraid to say that, sometimes they make me look good because they're really good coaches. But I had Andy Miller's my assistant. He's been with me for, I don't know, 8 to 10 years. He's been at Salem and Crestview, but his basketball knowledge is through the roof. So I lean on him a lot, give him free range at practice. He does drills, he puts in plays, he gives his 2 cents. Cade Reynolds is a JV coach, played for me, hard-nosed player and a hard-nosed coach. That's why I love having him on my staff. John Shaughnessy is our freshman coach, but also a strength and conditioning guy. He brings a lot of energy to practice. And then also, the junior high coaches who don't get a whole lot of, love, but they're the ones that got us in this position. I got Brian Beverly, Ralph Galliotti, my cousin Josh, who's a girls coach. He was actually the junior high coach when these guys were down there. So it just shows, man, you got to have some coaches in your program to succeed.
Coach, one of my final questions for you, and it's a running theme that I'm doing this year with all head coaches. It goes back to the love of the game. So whether we're on the sidelines as coaches, on the floor as players, in the press box as referees, it doesn't matter. We all love the game. It's what got us started. It's what keeps us going. Where'd that love start for you? Do you have an earliest memory? Do you have a pinpoint moment that you fell in love with the game of basketball?
You ever been to a Potter game at the field house?
I've never been there, but I've seen plenty on YSN, thankfully, and I know it's a holy grail of a place.
Let's talk a little bit, Ty. So you walk in, and we have a pep band, and they play the same song we run out to. It's called "A Horse," and they start playing it, and everyone starts standing up, and they'll just keep playing it and playing it and playing it. So it's time for us to go, and you go in there and you get goosebumps. This place used to be rocking back in the 90s when I used to come as a kid, and I'd sit there and watch them do the tip drill, and I'd go home, we'd play the horse, and I just fell in love with it. I love coaching. I don't know if there's any place else I'd rather be coaching. I don't know if that's me. This is my home. This is what I do. It's what it's my life. It's what my kids do. My wife's heavily involved. So it's just what we do. But if you ever come to a Potter basketball game and you hear the horse, you'll understand what I'm talking about, Ty.
I mean, just talk about the feeling of still being able to stand on the sidelines. Do you still get those goosebumps? Do you still get
I still get the nerves. There's a lot that goes into coaching. Are we ready? Are we prepared? Especially early season. Once January, February comes around, what you got. But that first game on December 1st, are we ready? Do we have all our end of game situations down? So you get nervous. You get nervous, for the kids because they put in so much work. You got to realize how much time these kids put into every sport they play. So you just want the best for them, and it's just my job to make sure that we're ready to roll. Yeah, of course I get nervous. I still get anxious. I've grown to not get so upset with the loss. I don't take it home with me as much. It wasn't fair to my wife and now to my kids. But a Friday loss might ruin my weekend 10, 12 years ago. Now, Ron Galbraith, the guy, I played at Geneva. He's a girls coach. He said, "Move on." That's what his famous saying was. "Move on." He said, "Get a dog." I said, "What do you mean get a dog?" He said, "You'll go home after a loss. Your wife will be complaining, saying what you did wrong. Everyone will be saying it was your fault. And that dog will be wagging its tail, no matter what wins or loses." We have 2 dogs at home for that reason.
Dude, love
That
it,
was
Coach.
Ron Galbraith. He was Westminster boys coach and Geneva's girls coach. He's a legend back in the day.
Well, Coach, we know that dogs show loyalty, and we show loyalty to the Potters here at YSN as well. We love having Potters and Potter Nation on the network once again. I'm so excited to see what kind of basketball East Liverpool has in store for us this year. We're all rooting for you here on the network, and we can't wait to talk to you again real soon.
I appreciate it. YSN's doing tremendous things. You guys and DJ, it's unbelievable how far it's come. I think it's tremendous. The kids really should enjoy it because they don't know how blessed they are to have what you guys are doing for them. So I appreciate it.
Well, we do it for the love of the game, Coach, and we're excited to have another season coming under our belts too. This has been a first edition. Yeah, for sure. This has been a first edition of Coach's Corner with the legendary Nate Conley of East Liverpool basketball.